Okay, so societies that are actually looking to have stability and survive, they do not. They take feminine sexuality seriously, right? And this goes like look at any long, stable, standing culture, right? The Amish, the Muslims, everybody, right? It's serious business. And the reasoning is you need females that can bond easily to males and have stable families, right? To be there throughout the gestation and rearing, 18 years, in order to not create, like, the female has to be bonded to the male in order to not create single mom families. The problem in that case, like statistically, you can look at the prevalence of prisoners and prostitutes, right? That's what single mother families tend to generate. And at the end of the day, why it comes to be is because the mother is not bonded to the male, right? And so they manage sexuality extremely seriously, because collectively it is like the future of society, like the feminine disposition, their actual sexual orientation, huge development on their course in life. And it's actually like ideal for your genetics, right? So you are looking to build a community, right? A strong community, and that is essential. Like the female bond to the masculine is essential to that. Masculine productivity is essential to that. So the females are only going to bond to the highly productive males, right? So how does this occur, right? So formal introduction is very structured. Like you have families vetting other families. And it doesn't necessarily have to be for monetary reasons. I mean, that's a strategy, I suppose. At the end of the day, though, you're looking for consistent values, right? And it's not like we're missing out on much by doing it. Like, look at fucking modernity, right? 50% of people are married unhappy, 50% are divorced or single. And yeah, I mean, there's where's the love, right? Where's there's like 5% of relationships now that are functional, and at that point, most of them are where the mother is a virgin, right? That's the reality of that concentration of 5%. Okay, it is for the female's benefit as well, ultimately. All right, so she wasn't looking for this Hollywood narrative of like I'm gonna random happily meet somebody, right? And I'm gonna vet them myself. Like, why not defer to the parents, right, that have a lifetime experience that can vet, that can look at families, right? They're looking at the father and saying, hey, this is what the man is going to turn into. Is this the type of man I want to be my daughter? So formal introductions. Facilitated by family members, friends, or matchmaker. Okay. So, like, how do you even recreate this, right? Like, ultimately, like, you probably have an online community or even offline community. Again, you join the Amish at the end of the day that can vet people. So, like, this is the equivalent. So now we have calling cards after that. When we visit the homes of the women that are interested, leave calling cards. Okay? So women are the gateways to sex, ultimately. And so you express interest. She would invite him in again, usually do a specific hour set aside for socializing. Okay, so the man, she would bring him into the home in some kind of social room and get to know him. Okay? Face to face, human, that's the natural way. Right? Now, say you need more in depth. During these visits, couple get engaged in conversation, music, parlor games, always under supervision of a court chaperone, usually a family member, right? It's really to protect the female at the end of the day, and also vet the male, right? The female can tell unmasculine men on her own naturally. What she can't tell the difference is and what the family member is there for. So there's a physical, now there's a physical support for her, right? When she does not have physical domination, he's coming into her home. She has more domination. There's a family member on her side, ultimately, right? So now you have equalized power. You don't have predatory isolation, etc. Okay? Interaction remain proper within the bounds of decency. Okay. So it's to stop from a sexual encounter to happen and to have her imprint on some man that doesn't care about it, right? That's just looking to pump and dump. Because, like, this is the horror. Like, this family member is usually a male, right? Like, he's going to sniff out the pump dump bad boys, right? That are just looking for a good time, right? Like, at the end of the day, it stops the whole downward spiral of single momdom. And, you know, how do you recreate it? Modern times. How do you recreate it? Maybe this can all be digital. I don't know. Maybe you can just go old school and just date within your community. Love letters and tokens. Okay, communication can often include exchange of love letters, tokens of affection, flowers, small gifts. This gesture is important. Expressing interest, intention, direct expression of affection, and more strength. Okay. So now you have examples of devotion. You're getting to know them even more. You know, you have space between the letters. And these courtships, I mean, they'd only take like 3 months, to be honest, because all the other prior vetting. This isn't a swipe on looks. We know nothing about the other person. Family involvement. Often involved in improving potential matchmakers based on social standing, financial stability, compatibility. Not uncommon for parents to arrange marriages, heavily influenced on the choice of a spouse. Okay. So, you know, having an arranged marriage is very, very forced and very, very strict. You know, why not find some modern moderation, right? How about saying, okay, here are 6 choices, right? That's a more natural orientation, right? Like in tribes of 300, we'd have women would have like 6 choices of viable men, right? They pick them, and they're done. Now they have 6,000 choices. Nobody, unlimited choice, unlimited despair. They don't choose anybody, they end up single after 30. And they end up dying alone in the categorical liability. Okay. So, beyond that, so it doesn't have to be arranged like this is your choice, but, you know, we can strongly recommend it. We can suggest the problems of modern dating and, you know, how are you going to choose, ultimately? Is it just a whiff of inspiration? Go with your feelings. It's ridiculous. Like, that's how we're living now, and society's miserable, right? So there's no romantic notion about modernity and love. Nobody loves each other because it's ridiculous. We're out of alignment with natural pair bonding, our million years of genetics, what it takes to build stable societies and happy societies, honestly. Public outings and engagement. Courtship progress might attempt a public outing such as picnics, community events, churches functions, often accompanied by chaperones. Once mutual interests established, families approved, couples become engaged. Alright, so the families dated each other. Really? Okay? That's how families got stronger, really, and built stronger communities. You build empires, dynasties. Right? It doesn't necessarily have to be strictly financially motivated. It could just be shared values, ultimately. What were the common elements of the shared values? Virgins. Right? Women without endlessly complicated kundalini. Right? women, like, Rose from the Titanic, always dreaming of Jack, of a man they can't have during relationships, and, not bonding with the men they're with. Men don't want to fight for that. Men don't want to work for that. When men have a loyal woman, they work. Right? They fight to keep her. They fight to protect her, etc. Society rises up for them. If men don't have a loyal woman, they have no purpose. They don't fight. There's no society, etc. It is so crucial to the fundamental. This is why every single pioneering culture is they manage the females of the tribe's sexuality for their best interests. Yeah, 1900s, things got comfortable, electricity, blah, 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 blah. Like, the 1920s are basically like the beginning of the foreshadowing shit show of modernity, which, depression rates have never been higher, suicide female rates have never been higher, replication rates have never been lower, historical average is 80% for people, women procreating, and now it's like 40%. They're all on antidepressants and raising cats. Like, it is absolute degeneracy, and every age of decadence ends in destruction, and reforms in a pioneering form, and they reestablish these norms of managing female sexuality for their own protection and for the greater benefit of society.